I'm what's the word I'm looking for? Verklempt.
Over what in particular?
Well, I think this whole toll issue, there's a lot of misinformation out there. For anyone listening, just so that they know, we cannot have tolls just at the border. But I think the thing that is, I think, most disturbing is the newly elected state senator from Greenwich, Connecticut. Of course, the one place in the state that can just not care if things cost more expensive would be Greenwich, and the Democrats have strategically asked her to put in the legislation for tolls because two things. One is it's a community that won't feel the impact financially the way that, say, a middle-class community like East Hartford or Torrington or any of these communities would feel it. And secondly, they know that the constituents of those communities tend to listen to and watch New York media. So most of her constituents won't even know. She is the legitimate reason or legislature that submitted a bill to give the state of Connecticut tolls. So,
wait, so what's the
Democrat giving?
Hang on a sec, JR. The tolls are a provocation to everybody who works for a living, and in any way feels some financial stress in their lives, normal financial stress. And the idea, how does having a newly elected senator from Greenwich mitigate that when the whole thing's a PR disaster for Democrats?
Well, that's why they've strategically picked a senator from a very wealthy part of the state that will not have much. Oh,
so there won't be provocation. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, so they can slip by this phase of it and get it introduced without people knowing, maybe.
Well, and her constituency specifically won't know.
Yeah, they won't know or care, and correct. That helps keep it quiet for a while because they're better off, the Democrats, if they can slip this in without voters knowing, right?
Well, absolutely. So there was a couple things that I just wanted to mention. Number one, if you go to the Connecticut Republican Facebook page, we've actually created events. She's having some town hall meetings. I think every person out there that is going to struggle to make ends meet, the dental hygienist that works in Greenwich but may live in Derby, where I'm from, her commute, that single mom making that commute, is going to get a lot more expensive. They need to go to her town hall meetings, and they need to tell her how devastating this is going to be to people who struggle every day. We have 5 special elections coming up. I don't know if you talked about that. I strongly encourage these 5 votes. These 5 elections could mean a very it could impact these votes because I think the margins are going to be very small.
Okay, before we discuss those though, just finish up on the meetings because they're this week. The meetings that
correct
you want people to go to, right? You want to lay out when they are.
Absolutely. I'm trying to. There's 3 different ones. I'm going to our event page right now.
Is it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this
week?
Yes.
The 24th, the 23rd, and the 22nd,
which is tomorrow.
Yep. So if you go to our Facebook page, you'll see there's events that we started where you can attend, and it's imperative that people explain to these wealthy Democrats how devastating their policies are going to be to the middle class. They have no idea.
So you want people to go to Alex's Senator, I'm blanking on her last name, is it Bergstein?
Yes.
And you want people to go to her meetings this week so that they can make some noise, right? That's what you're saying?
Absolutely. Here's a Democrat that spent more than $500,000 to go to the Connecticut General Assembly of her own money. Most of the people who are going to be impacted, $500,000, it would take 5 years, 6 years, 7 years to even come close to earning that. Never mind having it in their bank account.
Yes, to be able to have, for frivolous purposes, have free access to the money. So, okay, so that's this week. How do people find the state GOP Facebook page?
If you go to Facebook and you just put in Connecticut Republicans or CTGOP in the search bar, it's there.
J.R. Romano is with us. He's the head of the Republican Party here in the state. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week, this new state senator is having her office. No, not office. She's having like a public event for conversations with her constituents, and you want people to get in there and make a point that this is not good for real people. For the super rich, maybe they don't care, and maybe there won't be many constituents at these meetings, so the people who it hurts can really have an impact.
Well, and that's exactly right. So, I think that, and we've done the calculation. I think what we estimated, if you live in Meriden, Connecticut, for example, and you work in Waterbury, it's going to cost you about $1,000 more a year. Just to say that you're a nurse working at Waterbury Hospital, it's going to cost you $1,000 a year to drive to work. Now, couple that with the fact that they're talking about raising taxes. They're talking about property taxes going up. I mean, so you potentially, if you're a single mom out there, and the state of Connecticut is going to demand of you an additional probably $2,500 to $3,000 more a year. Can your son or your daughter really afford that? How does that help your future? And these are the things that we need to be talking about. These are the people that need to go and to this state senator event. And this is how we need to be kind of pushing back on the Democrats for these bad economic policies that are going to crush the middle class.
It's really hard to believe that anybody would propose such a thing, given the emotional condition and the financial condition of so many people who are so discouraged about trying to be a regular middle-class person going to work and paying your own way every day. And to get these regular, every couple of years, big tax hikes, it can't go on forever.
Well, there was a very specific reason everyone forgets. Lowell Weicker, the bane of Connecticut's existence, was from Greenwich. And there was a very specific reason he gave us an income tax, because his buddies at the country club, they didn't want to, capital, it was easier to do an income tax because all of his friends get capital gains.
So it bypasses them, you mean? They don't have to pay an income tax because they're in the
people paying income tax are the people that punch in every day at work. Down in Greenwich, their earnings come from capital gains, and it is an entirely different world down there. And we have to have our voice be heard at this state senator's events. And again, we have to go out and help these candidates in these 5 special elections and send a message that we cannot afford this.
Yeah. So when are the special elections?
They're going to be in February. There's 5 of them. We have some great candidates. We've sent out messaging. We've made calls. If anyone's interested in volunteering, doing phone banking, I know it's cold, but we are still doing some door-to-door. Please call our office, 860-426-1920. We can get you set up with some of the races that are in your area. But, because there are Democrats who are from more blue-collar areas, I think they'll be hesitant on this toll issue, which is exactly why the ones pushing this are Will Haskell, who represents New.
It's a 22-year-old,
like Westport,
right?
And Greenwich. These are the Democrats pushing for this that are safe.
Right. Who there's no risk, or they think there's no risk, but. That's really what you're talking about, JR, is to increase the danger for people who are so without any empathy for people who work for a living.
Correct. Absolutely.
All right, JR Romano, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We'll talk to you again soon.
All right.
All right, sounds good. JR Romano, the head of the Republican Party in the state. So as he said, go to the Facebook page of the Connecticut Republican Party and check out what he's talking about.